Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the UU Congregation of Danbury. Today, we are happy to welcome the members and friends of the Young Adult Organization Committee, Audrey, myself, Carver, Damien, Daisy, Jesse, Julie, Sequoia, and our special guest who couldn't be here today, Giancarlo. My name is Carver Fell. I have been a part of the UU's Congregation of Danbury for 1 year, and I just have to say that I adored coming to these services. They have been so welcoming and so mind-opening that it has been astounding. Today we have one announcement that today at 4 p.m., the Music at the Ridge presents Hudson Valley Sally in concert.
We're going to do an activity together now. I'm going to walk around the circle and make different motions. And when I get to your part of the circle, do as I do. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone, to this special young adult-led service. We're so excited to have this opportunity to share our experiences with you and learn from each other. As you may notice, the space is set up differently than you might be used to. At youth and young adult cons, we often do something called a circle worship. Circle worships tend to be interactive and personal, and foster a sense of intimacy and connectedness with one another. In a typical circle worship, everyone sits on the floor, so we invite any who are able and willing to do so. Today, we're talking about the art of living and how creativity influences our lives. We felt that a circle worship would be the best way to explore this theme, to encourage everyone to participate more than a usual service. There will be some segments where we will encourage everyone to participate in sharing and doing activities like the meditation Sequoia just led, so please join in if you feel comfortable doing so. We also invite any who are... Long ago, a caveman lifted a child on his shoulders to draw a bear high on a cave wall, tiny fingers dragging through soft stone. This cave was covered in finger flutings by dozens of children, abstract and symbolic line art that still remains in what we now know as France. Today, a parent lifts a child, hand-coated in paint, to draw a bear of her own on the paper-covered wall of her room. The bear is more colorful than that of her ancestors, but her fingers are the same size, and her wall will be covered with drawings just like that cave 13,000 years ago. Art is a bridge that connects us, across time, across cultures, across languages. We have never learned of a single culture without at least one form of art. From the Aztecs' turquoise mosaics of double-headed serpents to the intricate Chinese dragon dances, every culture develops its own forms of art, styles, and motifs. When we engage with art, we are engaging with each other, with the artists of the creations we admire, and all those who share in the appreciation of their work. With all humans past, present, and future, we connect, we connect, we connect. Art can be spiritual, divine, moving, and emotional. Have you heard a song that moved you to your core, that shook the very depths of your soul? Have you read a poem or story that swept you along with the words, as if you were experiencing them yourself? Have you seen a painting, a sculpture, a piece of art that you had to stop and admire, that evoked deep emotion? Have you watched a movie or show or play that made you cry, a performance that pulled you along with the characters to experience emotional highs and lows you never expected? We put books on our shelves, art on our walls, music on records and CDs, or more commonly nowadays, a digital streaming app. We surround ourselves with these little pieces of the divine, with fragments of emotion that resonate with us, so we can experience them again and again. To feel, to feel, to feel. Art is an outlet. It can be used to express every emotion, from grief and depression to joy and wonder. It can represent broad concepts or tiny intimate moments, fantastical worlds and impossible beauty. Art is made for mourning, for celebration, for activism, for fun, for ritual, for love. To honor a memory, to bring joy to a friend, to represent life, to represent dreams, to create, to create, to create. While the definition of art is something subjective, debated by creators and philosophers and admirers for centuries, we can generally agree that intentional art is unique to humans. No other animal is naturally capable of creating with intention beyond survival or play. A dog trained to paint with its paws is not thinking about the strokes, about what it wants to represent. A monkey with a typewriter may eventually write Shakespeare, but it does so without meaning, without purpose. These can still be considered art in some sense, and meaning can certainly be drawn from the artistry of nature, the lizard's mating dance or the morning song of a bird. But humankind's capacity to create in the various forms of creation we have invented are unique to us. It is no wonder that this act of humanity is intertwined so deeply with our lives, that art affects us in so many ways. Creation comes from the heart, from the soul, from the complex mind. We connect, we feel, we create.
To dwell together in peace, seek and speak the truth in love, to help one another and celebrate life. Please put your views high in the sky for our children's affirmation. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are people with open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. We care for each earth and each other. Thank you.
This is a winter concert by Yuko Takao. Note from my mother says, Sequoia, color the world, love mommy. One snowy afternoon, she went to a concert. The audience gathered. The pianist began to play. He made music, ta-dum, ta-da. Beautiful, beautiful music. The concert ended, but the music did not. It paved their pathways home. It colored their world. The music made the wintry night magical. She shared the music with her diary. She wrote a letter. Ta-dum, ta-da. Good night. Thank you. Now please stand in body or in spirit to sing hymn number 300 with heart and mind.
Transcend to make our purpose
Hello, everyone. My name is Julie. I also go by Jules, and I use she, they pronouns. And today we're going to be transitioning to our shared milestones. So you might notice that we don't have our usual bowl with our stones, but we have a blank canvas with paint waiting to be used. We invite you to share verbally or in the chat joys, sorrows, and after, grab a paintbrush from Damien and paint whatever you feel moved to on the canvas. Please be mindful of your space on the canvas and feel free to interweave your brushstrokes with other people in the congregation. This is our art piece as a congregation together on this day. Folks in the chat, if you wish, please let us know what color you'd like your brushstroke to be if you'd like to share, for me to share a milestone for you. And Carver and Damien will paint that for us. If you would not like to share verbally, that's totally okay. We invite you to add a brushstroke to our canvas as well. Please raise your hand and I will call on you to come on up and share your milestone and add to our canvas. And we hold any milestones that have not been spoken in this space together.
I'd like to invite everyone to for a silent reflection on how art has inspired your spirit, how it has expressed it, how it has impacted your life. I am going to be using the bowl over there to just have it ring out and have us all be able to take in the silence and take in your thoughts as we think on this.
It is now time for our weekly offering. If you're joining us remotely and you'd like to give, you may mail a check to 24 Clapboard Ridge Road in Danbury, Connecticut, or scan the QR code on the screen. If you're joining us for the first time today, your presence is your gift. Everyone knows listening to music is an amazing form of art. Performing music, I think, is even more special. The unspoken language we share while putting a piece together and performing it in front of an audience is something I'm so grateful that I'm able to experience. I think the way we musicians connect while performing draws a parallel to the positive relationships we are so lucky to have in life. Just like how Julie and I are so close, and getting to perform together is so special to us. Please enjoy Fragen, Opus 27, number 4, by Franz Paul Lochner.
Hello, my name is Jesse. Now for this section, I'd like to introduce a special segment of today's service where each of us young adults would like to showcase art we have created. This unique presentation reflects our individual journeys as young adults and what we think about the art of living. Starting off, one of our young adults was not able to come today, but we'd still like to show off his art in video form. He has asked me to read what his video is about, and then I'll show the video. I made this video after a camping trip with my friends in upstate New York. It was our first camping trip together in years, and I noticed how beautiful the forest, sky, and weather was surrounding us. It gave me such joy to take this footage, and Joy Harjo's Remember the Sky was such a fitting poem for this project. There are many aspects of the trip with my friends I do not remember, like what movie we were talking about around the campfire. Some I prefer to forget, like how my sleeping bag would not zip closed in 30-degree weather. But using creativity to cement the essence of the trip into my memory is how I see the role of art in my life. It gave me a medium to not only tell a story, but to keep it alive for myself and my friends. I now invite you to look up at the TV screen to watch Giancarlo's video.
Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life, and her mother's, and hers. Remember your father, he is your life also. Remember the earth, whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember you are all people and all people are you. Remember you are this universe and this universe is you. Remember all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember language comes from this. Remember the dance language is, that life is. Remember.
Hello, my name is Carver Fell. I'm here to talk about myself as a visual artist. I started the visual arts about 2 years ago after a hospitalization had unlocked my creativity. I do art as a coping mechanism in order to deal with the things that have been going on in my life and in society, as well as obviously for creativity and expression. My first art piece, which Jesse is going to show and bring around the room, is called On the Wave. It's sideways. I personally, as a queer trans person, I like to draw the queer colors, the queer pride flag colors in scenes of nature to prove that we are indeed a part of the natural order and that we are here to stay, especially with the over 300 anti-trans laws that have been passed in this country. My second piece is on another important part of my identity. As you can probably tell, I am disabled. This is what I would like to call a pain map, where I take the pain that I am momentarily in and just draw it on a blank nude. I have fibromyalgia, which affects the nerves and the muscles, and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which affects the connective tissue. So I have severe pain pretty much any system of my body. And it gives me a chance to be in the moment and have a bit of mindfulness about the sensations that my body are in. And thank you.
Hello, I'm Audrey. I've recently, in the past year, gotten into making visual novel games, which is sort of interactive fiction that combines like a choose your own adventure style story with art, music, and sometimes other elements like animation, voice acting, other gameplay elements. So, and even programming I've fallen in love with, which I didn't expect. And I really like this because it combines all of my creative passions into one. I get to do art, writing, voice acting. I did all of those for this little game that I've made today. The only thing I didn't make here is the music. On a rainy September day, I got dumped. It was my first real heartbreak. I'd never loved anyone so much. The breakup wasn't completely out of nowhere, but I was devastated. I don't know what to do. I've cried enough already. I need to get my mind off of everything. I don't really feel up to socializing right now. I don't want to drag anyone's mood down. I feel like I need an outlet. Doing something creative always helps me process my emotions. After my dog died, I poured my heart into acting. And I often draw when I'm stressed. Maybe I'll try getting my feelings out in writing. So, I wrote. For 2 or 3 hours, I wrote down everything I was thinking, everything I was feeling. I laid my emotions bare on the page. I cried more in the process, but when I was done... Wow, it really feels like a weight's been lifted from my chest. And now I actually feel inspired. I do have a deadline for my fiction workshop coming up. I'm exhausted, but I have some ideas. Yeah, I think I'll keep going. It's like I always say, even the negative things I experience can become great writing reference. I'll pour my heart into these characters. This will be the best story I've ever written. I kept writing. Time passed, but I hardly noticed. I kept going until I could type no longer. I did, in fact, write my best story yet. A story of grief, guilt, and heartbreak. It was only later, looking back, that I could see how much of my own hurt and heartbreak I'd put to the page. And so, I keep creating. All the highs and lows in life, the hurt and the happiness, and everything in between. It all becomes part of the stories I tell, of the art that I make. As I bare my heart to the world, I hope that I can touch the hearts of others. Maybe I can inspire their creativity too.
Hello, everybody. Here I am playing another instrument. Thank you. So, many of you have known me for a while. I played French horn, piano, and sang here since I was a really young kid. And I've always enjoyed doing that. It's been such a joy to share music with everybody here at UUCD and in general. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to be a music teacher. So to be a music teacher, you have to come up with a teaching philosophy. Like, why do you want to teach? I'm not going to get into my entire teaching philosophy because this isn't a job interview, but one of the main reasons I'm a music teacher is to connect with others emotionally with music. It is my firm belief that anyone can perform and enjoy music regardless of any ability level, and that can be supported in any setting. Today, I'm going to be performing Understood by Leith Ross, who's a folk singer who writes music about being queer, dealing with intense emotions, and moving through life or reflecting on the past. I was very moved by this song and their vulnerability as I relate to some of the subject matter. Though it is not my life story or experience, I do relate to some of it, and I wanted to share with you today. So you will also be joining me. I'll get to that in a second. I believe music is how we move through life and is such an integral part of the human experience. It is meant to be experienced with others. You might notice underneath your seat, you might be thinking, is this a really easy Easter egg hunt? But you're gonna be, or is this an elementary general music class? No, you're gonna be joining me. So I'm gonna be splitting half of the room. Not yet. I'm gonna be splitting like half of the room. So kind of Robert and over here is one group, and you guys will be doing one rhythm, and Joni over is going to be doing another rhythm while I play. So this group over here is going to be doing this with the egg shakers. A little slower. Nice. And this group over here is going to be doing this. Awesome. And don't rush me. Don't speed up. And you're gonna keep doing that throughout the entire song. And when the chorus comes, you can feel whatever, play or shake your eggs, whatever way you feel moved that fits into the tempo and the vibe of the piece. If you start to get to know the chorus, please sing along as well. Let me just make sure I'm in tune. And also, even though I'm a music teacher, I'm really not the best guitar player, so just bear with me. All right, here we go. I'll visit my family to give muscle memory a break. 'Cause I have been learning since I was a baby to take on their pain. I'll visit my family in living rooms that don't get cold. Cause blankets and body heat can't be compared when it only took you a week to grow old. Love can be understood. I'm sick of attachments I recently learned. I can't relax and I'm scared of myself. I'm scared for my health. Tell me you'll take me back home. Old friends are precious, but once all your old friends were new. It takes years of tense shoulders when growing a person into something that you're used to. I'm sick of the feeling that nothing will ever stand still. I wish I could stop. Love can be understood. I'm sick of attachments I recently learned. I can't relax and I'm scared of myself. I'm scared for my health. Tell me you'll take me back home. When I get sad, I go back to my grandmother's house. Picture my mother putting on her wedding dress, posing beside the same couch that I am lying on. It helps to remember I took generations to make. Love can be understood. I'm sick of attachments I recently learned. I can't relax and I'm scared of myself, scared for my health. Tell me you'll take me back home. One more time. Love can be understood. I'm sick of attachments I recently learned. I can't relax and I'm scared of myself. I'm scared for my health. Tell me you'll take me back home. Thank you.
That's good. Hello, as I stated before, my name's Jesse. I created a video as well showing the livelihoods of us young adults. And yeah, it's it's the livelihoods of young adults and how we're learning to adapt in a constantly changing world. So I invite you to take a look at the TV and watch my video. Life is not as simple as we thought when we were younger. As a child, I was excited about independence, exploring the world, and being successful. However, as I turned 20, I realized I hadn't achieved everything that I'd hoped for, and it led me to feel self-doubt and sadness. Growing up online, I have learned a lot about myself and the world, including how social media can be both beneficial and harmful. It's an incredible tool to connect with friends and discover new things, but it can also be toxic. Social media can create a feeling of self-comparison, where we compare ourselves to others, and this can lead to feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. Mental health is a significant concern for my generation, with a high number of Gen Z adults experiencing physical or emotional symptoms because of stress. Depression is also prevalent among Gen Z adults, with more than half of those surveyed feeling like they don't do enough to manage their stress. However, social media has changed the communication landscape for the better too. It's becoming a powerful platform to raise awareness about issues affecting our world. Social media is an excellent way to find answers to common questions like, what can I do about it? Social media is also promoting environmental and social justice activism. While the world can be a challenging place, social media allows us to see what others are doing to bring about positive change. Another unique aspect of our generation is the evolving nature of work. The rise of remote work and freelancing has given us the flexibility to choose how we want to work and live. However, this freedom comes with its own set of challenges, including a lack of job security and benefits, which can lead to financial stress and feelings of instability. The US in particular has a lack of labor rights in comparison to most other first world countries. To be quite honest, the saying, America is just a third world country in a Gucci belt, is quite fitting. Constant exposure to world news and the pressure to stay informed can be overwhelming. Our generation has been forced to develop coping mechanisms to handle this information overload. We are learning the importance of setting boundaries, seeking out positive news, and taking a break from our screens. There are varying reports on this, but studies have shown that over 50% of Gen Z young adults use social media as a news source. Within the past week alone, one of these major sources of news and education, TikTok, is being threatened to be taken away entirely by politicians who don't understand why you need Wi-Fi to watch TikToks, or why a face filter for sunglasses need to track where your eyes are. Technology is transforming our lives, and we are finding new ways to bring about change together. Even though technology can be harmful, we are making improvements that can reduce the damage caused by technology. Education is also changing, with more emphasis on self-learning and digital resources. Gen Z is already mastering the art of using these new tools, adapting to new methods, and acquiring skills at a fast pace. This shift in education is empowering us to be more creative and innovative in our pursuits. Ultimately, our generation's experiences are shaping a new form of art, the art of living. We are finding ways to navigate the complexities of life, adapting to the challenges that come our way, and using our collective power to bring about positive change to the world around us.
It's tall enough. Yay. Hello. Okay. So I'm Damien. I have a physical piece as well as Carver did. Mine is in the form of 6 pages, which I call a zine, which is a new age thing for just short for magazine. And it's mixed media, has a couple things, words from myself, paper clippings, and whatnot to show the connection of that art brings us and that the connection of life itself. So I'm going to be showcasing them on the screen for our online viewers and for easy viewing. But I'm also going to be passing around my pages. So I'm going to be hitting these out, and I'll say a couple words as you guys can pass them around the congregation and take a look if you would like. So on my first scans, it is actually like the opposite order of what I would like to present it in typically, but it's freeform, so whatever. On the first half, as it appears on the screen, there's a picture of my grandma and my baby brother, which I thought was very sweet, as well as some quotes and whatnot. The written quote by Robert Frost, who is a wonderful poet, as well as a art just plastered on these these poles in New York City. There's just an area that had construction going on, and there's just art plastered over and over, possibly by the same artist, I'm not sure. I just thought it was very beautiful, how it can be shared throughout the world, and how people show themselves, as well as a Van Gogh painting and a nice quote about it on the bottom, which I cannot read at the moment. I don't have the paper, but it's about him finding not necessarily peace in the art that he creates and where he is in the world, but he's finding something. There's meaning in everything, no matter what. So that is definitely part of connection, as well as on the right, there is just a bunch of pictures I've seen, pictures I've taken of the sun from different locations. There's one from Stonehenge, there's one from just Brookfield, and then there's some from Arizona when I visited my friends recently, as well as this one picture from when I went to the summer solstice in Stonehenge last year. And that man on the right of the picture, you can see we were just all freezing by the fire. It was like 5 a.m. It was so cold. And there's just this one fire that was lit, and a lot of people were still out dancing and whatnot. But I was like about to get frostbite, and like it was not well for like the next 2 days because of it. But we were just standing by the fire, and he was just looking out at the sunrise that all these people came in to appreciate together. And I thought it was very meaningful, as well as just the sun and light itself means a lot to me. So the quote over there is actually by a sculptor about just making art, but I think it really shows for light itself as well. And then for the next one, flip over, perfect. Yep. So we have 2 animal pictures by my friend from when we went to the Norwalk Aquarium. His name's Alec. He lives in Danbury. That's how I can credit him. He takes professional photos, and I thought they were very beautiful. As I do love the animals. as well as more Stonehenge and some quotes from magazines I got from the Brookfield Library, and a cactus from Arizona, which on the first page as it appears has the owl. The detail is a bit lost on the actual slide, but if you have that page in front of you, you can see a little bit. I did do some dark Sharpie on top of the dark background of just trees and whatnot, of lines connecting with these words that I didn't even write out that what I had actually written on it before putting it down. But I thought it just came to me when I was looking at this picture and thinking about how we think about things, how we think about animals, how they the owl is wise. Why is the owl wise? We put different aspects to different parts of us. And I think it's very beautiful how we use language in that way, and how we use connect to the world in our own ways. As well as on the right, there's a lot about the environment and how it connects to us as well. I really liked the quote by the jellyfish that is about everyone and advocacy for the environment, and how we connect to that, and how different people do disagree on that and whatnot, but everyone kind of has feelings about it from a shared love of life itself. As well as something very interesting about the cacti that I thought right there is that they actually have bones. Cactuses have bones, cacti, and it's made out of wood, but they're called bones, and the structure is similar to how we function, which I feel very connects us to the world. And actually in Arizona, the saguaro, I'm bad at saying the word cactus, it is illegal to take the bones because of people taking them and the effects on the environment. As well as in Stonehenge, there's currently an issue that advocates have been trying to help, where there's pipelines trying to go through it, and people are saying no. So as well as the tides and whatnot that I saw by the water, which is also in Ireland. And I'll go to the last page. Yep. So it is a bit hard to see on the screens, but one was from an old church, the Rock of Castle in Ireland. And I just wrote some words on it, some of my own, along the sides of the walls, from when I was at my grandpa's house, and I was looking just at the walls of this old farmhouse in upstate New York. And I was just thinking about so many people, someone put up these walls, someone put up these walls, someone put up the wallpaper on them. It had these flowers on it. Had they actually seen the flowers that were depicted by the art? Had someone else had to make the art for it? I was very much thinking about they had to do that, and I can touch the wall, but for them to put up that wall, they had to build it. They had to do that, and now I can just sit here and just touch it myself, where they once had to hold it up with their strength and just be underneath it safely. So I decided to put that on the walls, as well as some quotes on the top. I believe part of that is from a song that I like, which is Fog by Radiohead, because it very much so works as a poem as well. And the Robert Frost is on the next page. But on the next page is not actually advocating for saying that aging is a disease or whatnot, as I saw in the newspapers. But I just found a bunch of magazine clippings of ads and whatnot that I feel really kind of disconnects us from life, and I wanted to make it more connecting. So that's kind of more of a more political, kind of protesty, kind of ironic way of posting those to show how how it's not really living, to be oh, look at this. There's this thing can do this for you, and this thing can do that for you, which is very helpful. And at the same time, you have to live at the same time. So the Robert Frost quote on that I decided was very was the melancholy of having to count souls, where they grow fewer every year, is extreme, I'm trying to read it sideways now, but I'm thinking, where they shrink to none at all, then it must be I want life to go on living, which I think is very proper for that. Yeah, it's just a little, I can collect them, and I believe Sequoia is next. Woohoo.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sequoia. And I found this song online a while ago that was very experimental and strange and mysterious, and I didn't quite understand it. It sounds very strange and a little unsettling in the beginning, but it changes, it resolves, and by the end, I felt that it had become oddly meaningful. And so I set out to visualize this song, to use video editing to bring it into another sense so that you can see it as well as hear it. And my experience in doing that is that it took forever, but I think that I achieved what the song does as well in creating something that in the beginning feels a little ominous and unsettling, but turns into something oddly meaningful. And so what you're about to see is a combination of stock footage, of footage that I took, and a bunch of effects that I made. And I can't tell you exactly what's what, but all of the audio is from this song that I found online.
This has been a very difficult time for myself and my family. Thank you for protecting my privacy. I look forward to day in court. Yeah, you totally pull this off. Me. My kid heals. For like a day, right? Turn healing. It was not good.
Hello, we're gonna do a little set change for a second.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daisy. So if you asked me what my favorite form of art is, I would say music. Obviously, that's a huge part of my life. I went to college for it, and I always am like, oh, Daisy, I'm a singer. That's me. But I have another form of art that is also very special to me, and that is cooking. So I wanted to make some ramen noodles for you guys, but that was a little tricky. So instead, I'm going to make a salad, which makes me very happy, especially on summer days, because everything is fresh and all the ingredients are healthy. It's all vegan. My family's vegan. So here's the spring mix, which my mother so kindly ripped up for me this morning. Yes, we rip lettuce in my family. And I'm also trying not to touch it because I will be sharing this salad with some of you. Okay, I have tomatoes, which are fresh and wonderful. They add like a beautiful red color. What I love so much about salads is that not only are they delicious and healthy, but also the colors that you can create are crazy. And you can also have different flavor palettes of salad. Sometimes I make like a carrot miso salad, which is really good with the orange in there. Okay, these are my red peppers, which are red like tomatoes, but it's fine. Okay, I make a big, this is how much salad that I would eat by myself. I also make some for my mom too, sometimes for lunch. So we get to share a meal together. There's also another thing that I love so much about cooking is that it gets to be shared with other people and not just yourself, which I guess is the point of art. But there was a time where I had, my boyfriend came over and we made burrito bowls. And I was sitting there at the dinner table with my family and my boyfriend having made this burrito bowl. We made peppers, onions, like tofu, homemade queso sauce, like that was vegan with like out of cashews. It was really, really cool. And I almost cried sitting there at that table sharing this meal. I'm not kidding. I almost cried because it's so special to me to be able to share a meal that I've made with other people. So this is tofu. It's air fried. Made it last night. So I'm trying not to touch it. This is a little bit trickier. I usually just get all in there with my hands. Oops. I'm not gonna eat that. Okay. I would have, but I'm trying to talk too. Okay. And I also need to cut this avocado really quickly. Can't cut an avocado before we eat it. Funny story, one time I had to teach my conducting class in school how to do something. So I brought in a knife and an avocado and taught my conducting class how to cut an avocado. A lot of people don't know how to do that. You know? It's a hard job. Okay, grabbing my spoon. Another thing that I love about cooking and sharing food is that it is rare in the fact that you're able to experience all 5 senses with food. So you can hear the crunch, taste the food, obviously. You can see it, it's beautiful. You can feel it in your mouth. And what's the last sense? Smell, of course, thank you. And you can smell it, of course, which is awesome. Okay. So you probably won't be able to smell it, but if you saw out on the greeter table, I will be sharing the beautiful taste of this salad with maybe like 4 people who I will pull after the service. So stick around for a couple minutes if you want to see. Oh, wow. And I'm going to give you the full Daisy's perspective. So I'm going to log on my phone right here. And if you would spotlight me so you can see it from the view that I see it. And if you see all the different colors and how they, you know what? I forgot something. Wait. I did. I'm going to add my garnishes, which is fried onions. I didn't fry them. I bought them. Everything but the bagel seasoning and hemp seeds, nutritional yeast. This is all like either adding crunch or adding health, which is wonderful. So I love garnishes. And then I think I'll add the dressing afterwards, just so it doesn't get. Thank you, Sequoia. Okay, and here she is with all of its glory. That's my beautiful salad. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you all think, if whoever gets to eat it.
What's in the dressing?
The dressing is I mixed balsamic vinaigrette with vegan mayo. That's my favorite thing to do. Yeah, so if you didn't put your name in and you want to put your name in, run quickly and do that after the service. But thank you for listening and letting me share my salad making with you.
Now that we have all shared with you, I back up, not hug the microphone. Now that we've all shared with you, we'd like to open up the circle to the congregation and to those joining us online to share with us in a few brief words how art has impacted your life, how you've expressed yourself through art, how has art been meaningful to you, and how have you expressed meaningful things for yourself through art. So I will be checking the chat as well, but as we're here, either feel free to come up or I can come to you with our wireless microphone for you to share your words. Right here, would you like to come up? That might be a little bit easier.
You reminded me. My uncle was an artist, and he painted many, many pictures. He taught in Philadelphia, and my grandparents had every wall covered with his paintings. When I turned 25, they had to move, and they asked me to pack up all the paintings. They said, if you pack up all the paintings, you can take whatever you want. So I took the ones I wanted, and fast forward, I've moved many times. And the first thing I do when I move is I put up the paintings. So my kids come in and they go, now we know you're home because you put up your paintings. And then as they became homeowners, they found paintings that I had packed up, and they all had paintings in their homes. And my uncle was a single man. He didn't have any children. And he actually started to sculpt with plastics, which he didn't know was carcinogenic, and developed a brain tumor and passed away by doing his art. But I honor him by having his art in my home.
Would anyone else in person or online like to share at this moment?
I'm Randy Becker. I'm not sure we're going to consider this art because the art I'm talking about is playing the accordion. But recently, I've discovered something magical about this instrument I've had in all my life since I was 7. I'd broken my hand during a hurricane about 6 years ago and lost a lot of mobility in this. And then when Jane invited me to play more often, I've gotten back more than 50% of the motion in that hand from experiencing my art.
All right. So I'll call on someone else in the congregation soon, but right now from our Zoom chat, we have Dan and Susie saying that art has impacted our life in significant ways. We are both fine artists, drawing, painting, and sculpture, dancers, cooks. Dan is a musician and Susie is a writer and a trained expressive art therapist. So it has very much so impacted their lives. You want to see it? Over here.
Hi, I'm Deborah Oria. Sorry to turn my back. For me, I used to be, I would say, I consider myself a creative person in an analytical life. When I was much younger, I was very creative, and then I took the path of science for my education and kind of came away from that part of myself with adult life. And it's only been recently in the last few years that I've rediscovered and had to try to really set aside time for creative endeavors, including some that you've seen here with music and singing and drawing and writing and other things at home. But anyway, it really has helped me to come back to myself and who I am. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful to this place for helping me get there as well. Thank you.
All right, I'm not seeing any more online. Anyone else in the congregation?
My name is Gina, and I just want to say, I think most of the ways, I'm very creative and I do all sorts of crazy things all the time, but it often comes back to nature. And whether I'm outside dancing barefoot in my yard or writing about the sunlight coming through the leaves, my latest thing connecting with nature, because that's my spirituality, so is learning all about herbs and just how they can help us and affect us, and trying to connect more to the plant kingdom, and especially flowers and making flower essences later. And also gardening, just making gorgeous gardens.
All right, I'm going to open the floor for one more. I don't see any in the Zoom chat. So would anyone else here like to share one more? Right here.
So I started playing the cello when I was 12. They came into school and they offered, just this one? Sorry. Okay. I started playing the cello when I was 12. The teachers came around and all my friends took up the violin, and I said, I'm not playing one of those squeaky things. I'm going to play the cello. And I've been doing ever since, and I just had my 88th birthday, and I've hardly stopped. So it's just been such a joy all through my life. I've played with so many different quartets and friends and orchestras and it's just been I'm getting a new teacher. And so I just can't tell you how much joy it's given me all my life.
Very wonderful. Blow us away.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so then we are on. Thank you all for sharing. We should be on to our next line in the order of service.
So,
It's me. Perfect.
Singing songs for me is the most me I ever feel. you can imagine I've sung, I don't even know how many songs in the course of my life, but there's a handful of them that I keep coming back to that sort of carry with me no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'd like to share a song with you that is one of those songs that has kind of helped me understand a whole lot of things. I love this song for a variety of reasons, but for me, it kind of sits right there in the middle zone of where, like, you can kind of take it wherever you need to take it and receive it however you need to receive it. Hope you enjoy. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, no, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me.
Please join me in the extinguishing of the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again.
You're supposed to put it on.
Well, this has been a pretty long service. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Making a salad is art. Playing the accordion is art. Talking with a friend is art. What isn't art? Maybe art is just anything we do that has an impact on us, an impact on someone else. When you're going about your day, when you're getting dressed, when you're microwaving leftovers, when you're going for a walk, when you're driving somewhere, when you're saying goodnight to your family, there is art in that. And there is beauty in that. The last lines of the album Nurture by Porter Robinson, who is an artist I love, I think are very relevant here. It's an album about making art, about finding yourself and finding happiness. So these are the last lines on the album. Then somebody somewhere finds the warmth of summer in the songs you write. Maybe it's a gift that I couldn't recognize, trying to feel alive.
Standing in the kitchen, counting all the tiles on the floor. Some of them are hidden underneath the rug by the door. Thinking any minute I could hear the sound of the clock open. You can grab the linens, we can make the bed on ice and watch a movie in it. Talk about your day all night. Just a proposition, but I think it sounds pretty good to. How about that? You and me, lots of love and tiny things. All we have is all I need. All the love and tiny scratches in the sofa. All the pretty words in your mouth. How you call me over just to show me something you found. Hiding in the attic, underneath the box I forgot about. Lots of love and tiny things. All we have is all I need. All the love and tiny things have gone wrong in the past, and I see looking back what I took for granted. I know that I want this to last, so I take a step back and I look at the past. Love is a verb, it's an action. It's not a film reenactment. I don't need the moon or a mansion. I'm happy to be standing in your kitchen, counting all the tiles on the floor while you do the thing.
What? It smells good, really.